Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is David Benjamin from healthywildfree.com. Today I want to talk about the topic of mind over matter. Now, we've all heard this term possibly many times in our lives, and when we hear the term mind over matter, we often think, oh, that's for someone else. That's for a hypnotherapist, that's for, a magician, that's for someone who knows how to sort of transmute this physical 3D reality, when in actuality, mind over matter has physical implications in regards to our own personal health and wellness journey and our state of being as a whole. So the mind over matter conversation, I think, really is best to begin with the topics of the placebo and nocebo effect. Now, if you've heard the placebo effect before, the phrase, the placebo effect, you're probably familiar with what that is, but if not, I'll give you a quick recap, a quick overview. The placebo effect is when in medicine they take a pill, oftentimes a sugar pill, and they will give this patient a sugar pill, telling the patient that it's a treatment for migraine headaches or arthritis or pain in the body, whatever it may be, and they convince the patient, the doctor convinces the patient that this medicine is actually for their disease, ailment, or condition. Now, it's nothing more than a sugar pill. Now, here's what's interesting about that. There are multiple studies that show that placebo effect pills actually can work just as good as the clinical treatment that is administered, the actual medicine that is administered. The placebo pill can work just as well. Now, usually, unfortunately, the conversation stops there. What's very interesting that I found in my research is that oftentimes not only the placebo can work as well as the actual treatment, but the treatment of the placebo effect is a sugar pill. So I think we also have to take that into account. Knowing that sugar is inflammatory, sugar, if you have diabetes or something, it affects your blood sugar levels, it affects your insulin sensitivity, making your body less sensitive to insulin if you're pre-diabetic or diabetic or whatever it may be. So the fact that the placebo effect, they use something like a sugar pill, and this is what they convince their patients, is very fascinating to me, because that sugar is actually on a physical level, not a metaphysical level, but on a physical level, working against that patient. So for that patient to take something that is actually harmful for their health, even if it's in a small amount, a gram or two of sugar, whatever it is, and actually benefit their health, is incredibly fascinating. Now, the placebo effect has many different studies and a lot of research all across the board, so I encourage you to research and learn more about that yourself. But what most people are unaware of is the nocebo effect. That's N-O-C-E-B-O, nocebo effect. The placebo effect is discussed oftentimes a lot, but the nocebo effect is the flip side of that coin. The nocebo effect is essentially giving people a pill or a treatment and saying, this is going to be worse, or this is not going to help at all, whatever. So, and obviously they're not actually giving people pills claiming this, because that's the placebo effect, is the positive side of that. But the nocebo effect is essentially the negative, projection of an idea that manifests itself in a patient. So if someone says to you, say for example, you have stage 3 or stage 4 cancer, and the doctor says, you have 3, 4, 5 months to live, get your affairs in order. That is a perfect example of the nocebo effect, of someone placing a negative projection on you, and you sort of embodying or embracing this negative projection placed upon you, and actually living up to that and sort of manifesting that in your actual life. My grandfather, unfortunately, was sort of a perfect example of that, a recipient of the nocebo effect. He was notified that he had colon cancer in December, and he died in January. He died less than a month, or about a month later, after his diagnosis. Now, if that doctor had not had told him that he had cancer, or he had told him that he had cancer but he had 6 months or a year or 3 years, what would have actually happened? I personally believe that he would have lived longer, and many other people that got these nocebo effect diagnoses from their medical professionals would also live longer. So I share this content with you in this video today to voice the importance of both the placebo effect and the nocebo effect, and that is simply one example of mind over matter medicine and how much power the mind has. The mind has so much power in healing and modulating and adapting and evolving our biology and our chemistry. And if we negate that fact and we look at it as null and void, we don't embrace the power and the beauty that comes with something like the placebo effect. And instead we relegate or victimize into the nocebo effect status that has been placed upon us. So that's the first concept I want to share when it comes to sort of mind over matter medicine, is that the placebo effect is yours to choose, or the nocebo effect is yours to choose. So living in a state of positivity and a state of gratitude and a state of growth and acceptance of positivity in your life is incredibly valuable for your health and well-being, mindset, and mentality. Additionally, if we take it a step further, we can look at someone like Dr. Bruce Lipton and his work in the book, The Biology of Belief. Dr. Bruce Lipton was a PhD that studied at the University of Virginia, later studied at the University of Medicine in Wisconsin, and later studied at Stanford University. Dr. Bruce Lipton discovered when doing medical research that 2/3 or 66% of gene expression, meaning gene activation or deactivation, a gene flipping the switch on or flipping the switch off, was regulated by the environment of the cellular membrane surrounding that gene. What does that mean? It simply means that the genetic expression of your body is determined by the environment that these genes are in. The cellular environment is conditioned by really only us and our environment outside of us, which we choose, especially as an adult. So what that means is your dietary choices, your nutrition, your detoxification, your sleep patterns and routines, your exercise and movement, your sunshine, your proper breathing and breath work, your healthy emotional and cognitive state. All of these things play a role in the environment of the cell and the cellular membrane, which surround and encompass the gene. And if the gene stays inactive, or if the gene becomes active, it is in fact an expression of our lifestyle, dietary, health, wellness, mind, body, spirit choices that were invested into that throughout the years. So that further solidifies this idea of mind over matter medicine, and the belief and the health and the nutrition and the detoxification and the power that we actually have that is in our control, not in the control relegated or delegated to us by medical professionals, but in fact decided by us. Decided by what we eat first thing what we drink and then eat and do first thing in the morning. Decided by us by the choices that we make right before we go to sleep each night. Decided by us in the choices that we make in our interpersonal relationships and our communication and our connection to our community, and our decisions and our choices and our emotional state and how we process our emotions instead of letting our emotional energy get stuck and clogged within us. The biology of belief simply states that the gene expression and regulation is more determined by environmental factors than hereditary causes or hereditary preconditioned circumstances, whatever it may be. So that's two concepts right there that give credence to the idea of mind over Madison. I said Wisconsin, now I'm saying Madison. Medicine. I want to take this one step further. The third and really an interesting fact that and perspective that I found really fascinating, and I forget where exactly I learned this. I've picked up a lot over the years in health and wellness education, and this was something I saw in a health and wellness documentary years back. And the film was documenting the difference between patients that were in a hospital room, in a hospital bed, same patients. So one patient has this, one to whatever it was, I forget exactly what it was, but two patients with the exact same condition. One patient had a hospital bed with a window that faced a brick wall. The other patient had a hospital bed that had a window that faced a beautiful nature landscape similar to this. Now, the documentary film documented the difference between these two patients. The patient that simply had a perspective, a view of nature recovered, and I think it was something like half the time. Same health condition, same treatment, same everything. But the patient that had the view of nature, the patient that had the view of blue and green and flowers and nature and the natural world recovered in about half the time. Why do I share that with you? Well, when we look at something like mind over matter, it's important for our mind to be where it matters. In nature, in the creation, and the space of creation, and the space of natural evolution, the space of inspiration and creative fulfillment, and the space that every blade of grass and every flower and every tree and every bush and every bird and every insect is different and uniquely designed, evolved, and created, our mind has the ability to create, construct, and evolve faster. I firmly believe that being in nature and being in the ecosystem of our environment not only is better for our health and healing, as that documentary film proved, but it's also better for our creative state as an evolving, growth-oriented human being, as a growth-oriented individual. So I share these three concepts with you today because I feel so strongly that the placebo effect is a choice over the nocebo effect. That the biology of belief proves that our cellular environment that is conditioned by our diet, exercise, and lifestyle choices in our mind, body, spirit get to determine and dictate whether our gene switches are flipped on or off, and that our choice to be in nature and this beautiful ecosystem is ours on a day-to-day basis. And if we choose to embrace and embody the idea of mind over matter medicine, we have the choice on a day-to-day basis, on a moment-by-moment basis, to choose to invest our mind and our mindset and our structure and framework of the mind to condition our body to be healthy, whole, complete, happy, and fulfilled. And that is my goal, and that is my dream, and that is my wish, and that is my heart for you through the content that I produce here on Healthy Wild Free. So hopefully this content was valuable for you today. Hopefully you learned something new and exciting and engaging that you can implement in your life. If you want to learn more about this, read this entire article below, and read the book Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton, and just check out the content below. I'll share more information on this specifically as far as statistics, numbers, and data. Thank you so much for your time and energy. I hope you choose mind over matter medicine more and more on a day-to-day basis in your life individually. Please like this video if you learned something. Please leave a comment below. This is such an engaging and interesting topic. The wind is ending my video. For me, that maybe it just needs, I need a deep breath just to embrace all that, right? It's such an engaging and interesting topic for me that I personally want to engage and have a dialogue about this. So please share your comments below this video, subscribe, tap the bell for notifications, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.